You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly pop and geek culture show covering movies, TV, games, and comics. Now your hosts, Cody Pinnick, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hey everybody, it's Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that's here to remind you that if you've seen The Leprechaun, say, "Oh yeah!"
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
That was our St. Patrick's Day content.
That's it. Yeah, we
right
got
there.
it. We got it.
A couple days late, but
Yeah, you know how it works.
the Leprechaun, he's got the gold.
He does. I'm Sam.
I'm Cody, and I'm not a leprechaun.
And I'm Samantha.
We have a great show for you this week. A bunch of things to talk about.
You didn't answer if you were a leprechaun or not.
I'll never tell.
But yeah, so we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But first, let's get into some things we have been checking out.
Check it out!
Unfortunately, Josh is not here, and he may be a leprechaun.
He is maybe the most leprechaun of all of us.
I've seen photos.
I
that
have
are
seen the
very
photos.
Convincing.
Yes. He is dressed as leprechauns multiple times. Yes. So let's talk about some things we've been doing in the past week or so. You know what? I have a quick one. I have started playing a Pokemon video game ROM hack called Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Do you remember that short craze online a while ago where they had that website where you took two Pokemon and it took the sprites and smushed them together, basically recolored one as the other and put the face of one on the other?
Yeah.
A group of modders have taken the, I think it's Fire Red and Leaf Green version of Pokemon and have modded it into having, they've added DNA splicers to the game so that you can actually merge two creatures into one, and it is some wild stuff.
How does the typing work?
It takes the first type of each, and if there's only one type for both, it mixes them up. So right now I have a Squirtle and a Pikachu that is water electric.
Nice.
Yeah, and it mixes their stats. It averages out their. It's really cool. When you mix them together, it averages out their level. It averages out all their stats. It gives you both movesets, so you can pull from both.
Oh, cool.
And you can put them together and split them apart whenever you'd like. So you get something that you really want to see mixed up and made into some sort of freak abomination. You can split one apart, put the other two together. Things with Lickitung are awful. I'll tell you that right now for free. And the best part is there is a full sprite modding community that have been going through and slowly been creating custom sprites for each one of these abominations, so it's not just the face of one pasted onto the other.
Nice.
Like, they're actually making crazy versions of these guys. Apparently, also, if you merge two of the same one, you get a crazy hyper version of it. I saw a Machamp with 8 arms. Because it was a Machamp and a Machamp put together. It had a toga and 8 arms and 3 heads. It was almost like a biblically accurate Machamp.
What's that Mortal Kombat character?
Goro.
Oh, Goro. Yeah, it's a Goro. Yeah. But I've been playing it on my stream, and every time a new one comes up, I am repulsed and amazed. It is a fantastic game. And the best part is it's free until it gets picked up and not available online anymore.
Until the Pokemon company says no more.
But I tell you what, it has given me the amazement of, remember playing Pokemon for the first time and you catch something that you didn't know existed?
Yeah.
And you go, oh, what is this thing? Oh, what's it gonna do? You get that feeling every time you merge them together, but it's also mixed with complete revulsion.
Because nobody designed this. Yeah. Nobody cares if it looks good or not because it's randomly generated.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic. I am having a great time with it.
It sounds more fun than terrestrializing.
It is. Yes, absolutely it is. Yeah, I did finish that. I finished the post-game content on Pokemon Violet as well. It's fine.
Yeah. I need to do the thing where you find all the spikes or whatever.
I have found all the spikes, but my guys are a little too leveled up, and I accidentally killed them.
Oh, no.
But they just go back into hiding, and you have to wait for another 24 hours to open it back
that's
up.
That's not terrible.
And you don't have to find the spikes again, which is nice. So I can just jump to those spots and get them again. But yeah, it's kind of an interesting time for Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In related Nintendo Switch stuff, I've since played through the entirety of Metroid Prime Remastered.
Oh, yeah.
It is fantastic in every conceivable way. They did absolutely nothing wrong with the remaster. Everything is great. The modernized controls are very, very good. And it's one of those remasters where, like, I honestly can't tell you how much better it looks because it looks how I remember it looking. Oh, yeah,
I get you. I get you.
Like,
get what you mean.
Like, in my head, Metroid Prime always looked great, and this looks great. So, you know,
there you go.
I'm sure they did a great job. It's just been so long since I've looked at the original, like, at whatever terrible resolution it probably runs at on a CRT.
Yeah, like 360p or something, 480p.
But it's good. The game remains excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how towards the end they stop holding your hand at all.
Yeah.
Because the part of the game is you have to find these 12 Chozo artifacts to unlock a door.
Mm-hmm.
And they give you clues to where they are, but they never say, it's right here, or you have to go here now. Like, the whole map is open to you.
And you just have to go find them.
Go find the things. And
that's
interesting. Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
And it's like you have all the items at that point, so now it's just figure out how to use them.
Yeah. The development of that game always seemed really interesting to me. I always liked the anecdote where Miyamoto came to talk to I forget who the production
Retro.
Yeah, Retro. And had suggested that Samus have different heads. And what he meant and what they eventually came to was
the visors.
The visors. Yes. What would it be like if Samus had a bug head and something else? And what he meant was different visors.
And the visors are very cool.
Yeah.
They do feel kind of claustrophobic to me because the color changes. I'm like, I can't tell what anything is anymore, but I also do need to know that there is an invisible wall here. There is a cool part where you're in a room where it's raining, and if you look at the rain, you notice that it's hitting something that's invisible.
Oh,
and then you
neat.
flip on your X-ray visor, and there you can see the platforms where the rain was hitting them.
Very cool. So speaking of that, there is actually a really good mini doc. It's a What Happened from Matt McMuscles on YouTube that goes into some of the other things that went into production of this game. Apparently, the first producer was not a cool guy.
Oh no, yeah, I know this story.
Yeah, we can't really talk about it on air, but I would recommend you going to YouTube and checking that mini doc. It's like 20 minutes long. It's not that long, but really interesting stuff.
You can pretty much sum it up by saying after he was done at Retro, he went on to produce The Guy Game.
The Guy Game, yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
So that's the kind of person he is.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Other than that, see what else. We've watched some movies. What are some movies that we watched?
Most recent was Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah, this continues with our theme of movies about rich people movies and shows about rich people being miserable.
Yeah.
Because that's what this is. I think it was nominated for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
Man, it was pretty good. It's just a bunch of people rich people get on a boat and like treat the staff bad, and then they get their comeuppance.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of wild scenes of extremely gross vomiting and toilets backing up on a boat.
Uh-huh. I forget, did you guys watch The Menu?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's pretty good too.
Yeah, the menu was great.
Yeah.
I I think I like the menu better than this,
Yeah.
but this was
Yeah.
a little headier than the menu was.
Yeah.
But it actually wasn't that. It wanted to be headier than it was, I think.
Oh, I see.
Because also there's a ton of diarrhea and throw up in it. Like,
Well,
so it's
sure.
not that clever.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting that there's a lot of media right now between this, White Lotus, the menu,
Succession. Which we've also been watching.
Oh, really?
It's a good show.
Oh, cool.
I don't really have anything to say about it other than it's good, but yeah. Some of the most disgusting guttural throw up noises I've heard in a movie are in Triangle of Sadness.
Really?
I think the movie didn't really get interesting until they're stuck on the deserted island in the last half. I mean, it's split into 3 parts. That's the third part was when they're on the deserted island. That's when it got interesting, and you saw like roles being reversed.
Oh, sure.
And because the rich people, of course, they don't know how to do anything.
Right.
They don't know how to start a fire or catch a fish. And the lady who was her job on the boat was toilet manager. She, of course, knows how to do all these things.
Right, yeah.
So suddenly she's the king of
all these people.
Of the bunch and isn't afraid to let them know it.
Yeah.
And that's when the movie got good, I thought.
Gotcha.
Which was also like an hour and a half into it.
Yeah.
So take with that what you will.
There's actually a little bit of the glass onion in this a little bit, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do fit together.
Yeah.
It was too long. Also, it was like 2.5 hours.
Oh, really?
It was too long.
Yeah, that's stretching the premise just a little bit too far.
We probably could have spent less time with the characters at the beginning before they were on the boat. There was a lot of lead up that probably didn't really need to be there.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah, cool.
I can see why it got nominated for Best Picture.
Sure.
I also can see why it didn't win.
Well, sure. No, it makes sense.
I'm so glad that Everything Everywhere All at Once
I am
swept
too.
all those awards.
Yeah. I'm so glad Kehu Kwan
Yeah.
won. That was his acceptance speech was, I mean, brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
It was
really good. That's the first time I can remember in a long time that an actual like fun movie won a bunch of awards at the Oscars.
Yeah.
It's usually like something dour or something that's just like
Oscar baity.
yeah, boy ain't Hollywood great.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason why La La Land should have won all those awards the year it did. Because it's like, oh yeah, Hollywood's so great. Here we go.
Hollywood.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I'm glad Everything Everywhere won a lot. It's deserving of it, for sure.
I watched this travel blogger called Carpetbagger, and he's just like
I've heard of him.
He's just like a good Midwestern dude that drives around and looks at cool stuff. But he's spent the last couple weeks in the Hollywood area, and it is just like made me realize, boy, I don't want to go there. It just looks awful.
Yeah.
It's just full of people, and like it's gross.
Yeah.
They took one of those Star Tour buses.
Oh, really?
Where they tell you where celebrities live. And then later, like a couple videos later, he's like, yeah, people told me everything they said on that Star Tours was lies.
Really?
They weren't accurate. Those weren't the houses of those celebrities. They were just making stuff up.
They're just making stuff up.
And it's like,
wow.
God, yeah, I have no interest in going to Hollywood.
No interest. The Carpetbagger, I've heard of him. He was they showed a little bit of one of his videos on that Jenny Nicholson thing for the what is it called? The
that
park.
Play park.
Yeah. Evermore. Evermore Park. Did we ever talk about that dog?
Yeah,
on
we
here?
did.
Yeah,
We
okay.
did.
Yeah.
It was very good. It was one of her better videos
ones
she's ever done.
One of her better
I think.
ones. Yep.
But yeah, I watch his videos like as they come out. I don't know, just something to watch, I guess.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But he was actually in Ohio not too long ago and got rear-ended in Sunbury.
Oh, really?
And it screwed his car up so bad that it is still in Columbus.
Oh my gosh.
Waiting to be repaired.
Wow. What a mess.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And just a couple days ago, his rental car broke down.
Oh no. Wow.
So the current trip he's been on has been like one bad thing after the other. I feel so bad for the dude.
Oh, what a bummer. Yeah, what a bummer.
But he's gonna have to come back to Columbus sooner or later when they fix his car.
Yeah. Well, he could see the sights.
Yeah.
Wander around.
He did a video doing that. The convention center has that big head.
The big weird head.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah. That's something you can do in Columbus.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It looks real bad.
Oh, yeah.
But it's there.
Where else could you go in Columbus if you were a travel vlogger? I don't know.
Well, depending on your time of year, you can go to the Park of Roses.
True.
That's
Otherworld. That's an
Otherworld
option,
is pretty cool. Kosai.
I still have never been to Otherworld. I need to go there.
I need to go there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Kosai's good.
Kosai's a good one. See a hockey game. See a Clippers game. Whatever.
Oh, North Market.
North Market. Yeah.
North Market rules.
North Market's pretty great.
But we're narrow casting now.
We are. So the other thing that I checked out this week, I'm still on my Japanese Power Rangers kick, and I watched the second episode of King Oger. I'm not going to talk about it too much because nobody cares, but it's fun. It's good. This episode had to do with the Blue Ranger's kingdom, and he is not a king but a president, and his kingdom is baby's first cyberpunk.
Fisher Price cyberpunk.
It looks like Fisher Price cyberpunk. It's very bright. Everybody is
Blade Toddler.
Yeah, basically. And I mean, the whole thing is, he's like, I worked myself up from the slums, and now I'm the world's greatest hacker, and that's why I'm the leader of this community. And everyone have hacker battles to try to see who becomes the actual king and everything. And he's an actual punk. Like, he runs his town like he is the leader of a gang, basically.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. It's all right. The show continues to be good. And it's interesting that, so the main country, the red country, is like medieval Europe. And they bring...
It's like Epcot. It's like Power Rangers Epcot.
It kind of is. It kind of is. And at one point, they bring the guy who is the Red Ranger, who was a orphan from the red country into the blue country, and his mind is completely blown because it would be like bringing a medieval peasant to the modern day. All of a sudden, there are bright lights and flashing things and the internet where it did not exist before.
That is pretty wild.
So it's an interesting take. It's an interesting take on the season. And they're doing something really cool where they're not playing the intro song or show intro until they introduce all 5 characters.
Oh, okay. So there's no spoilers.
There's no spoilers or anything like that. And that's really cool. I like that a lot. And they seem to be leaning really heavy on robot fights this season, which is good because the money that they're putting into the CG for that seems to be really, they seem to be putting it in the right spot. It looks good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
We got one more movie if we got time.
Oh yeah, we have time.
We watched Missing.
Okay.
Which is it's like a crime thriller kind of, but the gist of it is that it all takes place on the main character's computer. Like, you're seeing like it from like her desktop.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
The whole time.
Oh, okay.
And her mom leaves on vacation to Colombia and doesn't come back, and you watch her like be teen sleuth on the internet and try and figure out what happened to her mom. What happened to her mom?
Interesting.
And it was pretty good. It was a pretty good, like, competent and entertaining thriller, like, all from the view of the computer.
That seems really interesting. Also, very low production.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Incredibly low production.
Cheap.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem cheap. They did a good job making it seem like they spent money.
Were they able to license out Google, or did they have to go to Frugal?
No, you see all of the real program names.
Really
and stuff.
Interesting. Now that's really cool.
Yeah, like,
so that's where the money went.
Yeah, I laughed because the culprit at the end, they show his computer and he's using DuckDuckGo, and I'm like, well, you have to be a maniac to be using DuckDuckGo.
You gotta be. Yeah.
But yeah, it's got Google, it's got Firefox, it's got all your favorites.
all the hits.
Like
All the best apps.
Yeah. There's a couple points where it actually surprises you with computer stuff on the screen.
Really?
That I don't want to spoil.
Okay, yeah, don't spoil it.
It's worth a watch, but
Yeah. This sounds like a much better and less hokey version of that horror movie where everyone's in a chat room, video chat room.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
The Host.
The Host, yeah.
I liked Host though. That
Yeah.
one, it was cool.
It was cool and goofy.
Yeah. It's better than like you're unfriended or whatever.
Oh yeah, Unfriended. That's the one, you know what? That's the one I'm thinking of is Unfriended.
Yeah, 'cause Host was almost like a short film. I don't think it was full length.
Yeah. But no, Unfriended is the hokey one that I'm
yeah.
thinking of because that one wasn't especially good.
It doesn't leave a computer screen the whole time, I don't think. I can't think of any times where we weren't looking at like at least a like security feed on a computer. Like
Interesting.
I thought that when they revealed who the culprit was, he suddenly lost all believable human emotion.
Oh yeah.
And like turned into a cartoon bad guy. Which was kind of a shame, but it was still a good movie.
Yeah.
She gets in, like, she meets a guy in Colombia using like an app that what's the American version of the app? TaskRabbit. She meets a Colombian guy on the Colombian version of TaskRabbit.
TaskRabbit, what she uses.
Well, no, because she has to switch over. It's like Go Ninja or something.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
But she like strikes up a friendship with this Colombian dude, dad, that's entertaining too.
Oh, interesting.
And they video chat, and he helps her with things that are going on in Colombia, like looking for certain things or going to certain locations.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. No, it sounds really fascinating.
Yeah, it was good.
It's not like amazing, but definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth its runtime.
Well, good deal. Good deal. Well, we have actually hit time for the break, so let's take a quick break here, and when we come back, we will talk about some news. We're going to talk about some game stuff. We're going to talk about Willow. We're going to talk about all sorts of neat stuff.
What trauma movie is getting a video game? Stay tuned to find out.
Oh, I hope it's Tromeo and Juliet.
That's the one I was going to say.
This is Gail Martin.
Hi, this is Carol Kelly. We'd like to invite you to join us for our gardening and outdoors show here on WZMO. We talk about observations and insights about what's happening from week to week with plants and animals in the woods and fields around us, as well as what's going on in the garden.
In the Green Outdoors airs Saturdays and Mondays at about 9:30 a.m. right after the second cup. We hope you'll join us.
The folks at Sidekicks Coffee are more than happy to make you your favorite hot or iced coffee, tea, hot chocolate, lattes, and more. Sidekicks have 2 locations. In the Marion Center Mall, Tuesday through Saturday, opening at 10 a.m., and their on-the-road drive-up next to the Pet Sanctuary on Marion Waldo Road, Tuesday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Sidekicks Coffee.
Hey, Paigey. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I don't know, Paige. But I do know this. Long Play is the #1 show at both 11 p.m. Fridays and 3 p.m. Saturdays. Right here on, you guessed it, 104.7 WZMO. I invite you to tune in and check out the show that's a legend in its own mind.
We are back from the break, and let's go ahead and get into some news.
Who am I? What am I?
No Neil Breen news this week. Sorry, but I had to. I gotta put him in there. I gotta put the Breen in there. So yeah,
Fresh Breen.
fresh Breen. You know, hot piping fresh. All right. So, what do we want to start with? There's a bit of news. I'll be honest, a little light this week, but we're going to make the best of it. Let's talk about Willow.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a little guy.
He's a little guy. There's a little bit of news. We're going to talk about a little guy. It's all right. So it's Disney announced that the Willow show at first said that it was getting canceled and then walked it back. Is that right?
Then the producer says, "No, we're not canceled. We're just not going to make any more for at least a year."
Yeah, so that's interesting. I wonder if it's a production cost issue or if it's just not that many people are tuning in. Maybe it took them a little too long to come back to the Willow topic.
Yeah, I wanted to watch this, but I haven't seen Willow since I was like probably 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was younger.
I was a kid as well.
I only had seen it because my junior high school science teacher had us watch it.
Oh, nice.
He came in one day and is like, "We're going to watch the greatest movie of all time." And I said, "Star Wars?" And he went, "No, but close."
Well, I mean,
that's a wild pull to have Willow be your favorite movie of all time.
But it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember very much of it. There's a baby, and then there's a guy that's like Aragorn, but he's not Aragorn.
Yeah, Val Kilmer turns into a pig man. I remember that. That's the only thing that really sticks out in my head, other than Willow, But
yeah, that's what stopped me from watching the show is because I didn't want to do the homework of watching the movie again.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'll probably get around to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, and I didn't hear anything bad about it.
No, all I heard is good things.
Yeah, people seem to like it. Just, I don't know. Yeah, it must be a production issue or a production cost or something like that.
It's like Andor and The Last of Us. Like, I know it's good. I've only heard good things about either one, but like, just haven't watched. Well, no, we tried to watch Andor, and I watched one episode, and I'm like, that's pretty good. And then
moving on. Yeah.
And then The Last of Us is just like, I know how this ends.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Yeah, kind of know the beats a little bit. I hear that they take it a lot slower in this because, in a video game, every 30 minutes you basically have to stop the plot for
people can fight.
So people can fight.
So you can knife some people.
Yeah, from what I understand, they go like maybe 4 or 5 episodes without seeing a mushroom head.
Yeah, cordyceps.
Yeah. So like, I don't know.
I'm just not a huge fan of Neil Druckmann either. The guy that. What was that? What was that tweet you saw the other day?
Oh, it was originally going to be called Mankind.
Okay.
And only women were going to be able to be turned.
Oh, no.
Yeah, think about that for a second.
Yeah, he thought that was a cool idea at first until a bunch of people told him.
Women.
A bunch of women at Naughty Dog said, "That's really misogynist, Neil."
Yeah, that's... No, I guess no.
Yeah.
Nope. I mean, there's Why the Last Man, which is kind of the reverse of that, but still, that's no. Mm-mm.
And like, I thought Last of Us 2 was such a train wreck, and not for the reasons why most people are just mad because a character dies.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fine.
Yeah.
That was earned.
It was just not
just the rest of it just fell apart because it didn't say anything.
Right.
It was just a bunch of people doing things for barely defined reasons. And then it just kept going. There's a point where it should have ended.
Yeah.
And then it went on for another 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
That's the worst when you hit a definite end and then that sucks.
Which it's all stuff I guess they could fix in the live action version. So maybe I should watch it.
Yeah. So let's see. Moving on. James Gunn announced that along with leading the charge at DC Warner Brothers, He is going to be writing and directing a new Superman film, Superman Legacy, which is going to kick off the rebooted DC cinematic universe, trying to clean up the mess that was kind of left in Zack Snyder's wake. This is not a surprise.
I could have sworn he already said he was going to, but I guess not. Yeah,
I guess he hadn't. I mean, it makes sense that he's going to be directing and writing the first major film to kind of, point things in the right direction. And there's there are people upset with him. I don't understand it.
I don't get it.
I don't understand it.
All of James Gunn's movies have been
they've been good,
pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially the superhero ones have all been very good.
The corporate ones that he's done, he's been able to put enough of a unique spin on things to make them interesting and not just cookie cutter corporate.
It still has the James Gunn edge to it.
Yes.
That makes them still be good.
But palatable for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His Suicide Squad movie was people don't talk about how good that movie was enough. It was very good.
It was good. Yeah. His work on Peacemaker was fantastic.
Oh, we were talking the other day. I think Peacemaker is one of my favorite shows of recent memory.
Yeah. And along with this, apparently he had a meeting with Ben Affleck to potentially... I was going to
mention that.
Yeah, and Affleck later said, no, there's no way I'm going to do this. And I don't think it's because he's like, oh, screw superhero movies. I mean, he probably, in his private life, probably feels that way, especially after being tethered to the Zack Snyder stuff. But, I mean, there is a corporate cookie cutter style that kind of goes into these. Unfortunately, that's kind of what works. And if you're trying to be a creative... It's difficult, not impossible, but difficult to be a creative director in that kind of setting.
Yeah, it's why we didn't get the Edgar Wright Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Or the Scott Derrickson?
Scott Derrickson, Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he did the first one, but he didn't do the second one. But then we got Sam Raimi, and I mean, he did fine.
The movie turned out pretty good.
Yeah. I'm just curious to see how much they hold over from the previous stuff. Like, will the Flash continue? I am really torn on that because everything about the movie looks fine. Everything about the actor
is alleged crime.
Can go in a dumpster.
Yeah.
Well, no, he was arraigned. It's not alleged.
Oh.
We don't have to say alleged when it's an actual crime.
Okay. is crime.
Is crime. Yes. They're a nasty crime person. But yeah, I'm looking forward to James Gunn's stuff with the DC stuff. I mean, again, it looks fine.
I think he understands Superman. I think we'll get the positive,
he'll get it,
just the right tone for Superman.
Mm-hmm. Because that was what was missing from the Snyder stuff. The tone was not,
his Superman
wasn't right.
Is like, I'm
angry all the time.
I'm mad.
Cold.
Yeah, he has no warmth. That's a good point. Yeah, he doesn't have the Superman warmth.
Superman's supposed to be hopeful. He's supposed to be aspirational. He's not supposed to be just...
I'm an angry allegory for Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully there'll be less jars of urine in the
you mean Grandma's sweet peach tea?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a weird.
I still can't believe they did that. When I saw that in the movie, I'm like, oh my god, why are they doing that? Why are they making me see this?
Why is Lex Luthor putting jars of pee?
Yeah. Alleged
pee. Oh. Speaking of DC stuff, do you want to tell me about what's going on with that Suicide Squad video game?
It has apparently been delayed for an indefinite amount of time because of the reaction to its big reveal at that PlayStation.
Oh, you mean how everyone has guns?
Yeah, it was just immediately people were like, "No, thank you for this one."
Yeah,
mostly because it looked like a live service game, and people are getting real burnout on those.
Yeah,
which actually goes into another topic we'll talk about.
We'll get
here
in
a
there,
minute.
yeah.
But yeah, it looked like a looter shooter with an IP that doesn't match that kind of gameplay bolted onto it.
Yeah, like hastily slapped on.
Yeah. When I think of the Suicide Squad, I don't think of, boy, that should play just like Destiny.
Yeah, right. it's just not a good fit.
Especially when this is the studio that made all those real good Batman games with the real good melee combat and cool stories and good cutscenes. And then it's like, here's our next big thing. We haven't had a game out in like 8 years or something ridiculous. Here's our new thing. It's a live service game about shooting the red spot on a big monster.
Yeah, and also this is Kevin Conroy's last recorded
Batman performance.
Batman performance or performance in general.
Yeah. And it's about killing him,
and
which
it's
is
about
not cool.
That is not cool. That is not it's not great.
I don't know. Maybe Batman won't be evil because it looks like from that trailer Wonder Woman didn't get whatever mind virus Brainiac.
Who knows? Yeah. I'm so tired of the Justice League has turned to evil. I've played the Injustice fighting games. I've seen this story before, and it's not fun. It's not fun.
It's just taking the heart out of superheroes. That some of the DC superheroes fit that tone.
Fit the tone.
Not all of them.
Right. That's correct. So yeah, you alluded to some to other burnout a little bit.
Yeah, I saw a article on Kotaku which piqued my interest.
Okay.
That the majority or almost all of the top rated games for this year, which it's still pretty early in the year.
It's early, but still, yeah.
Almost all of them are remakes or remasters of existing games.
Interesting.
Like let me pull it up here.
Okay. Yeah, interesting to kind of think about, but yeah, I guess you're right. There have been a lot of remakes and remasters lately.
According to Metacritic, the top 3 games of the year so far: Metroid Prime Remastered,
okay,
The Witcher 3,
okay,
and Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, those are all old games.
If you go down a little further, there are even older ones. Persona 4 Golden.
Really? That's not even the most recent one.
The Dead Space remake is on here. It's not until number 9 do you get to a game that's not some sort of remake or rehash, and that's Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah. Which I've heard is really good.
Yeah, it looks really good. I've played like the first level and I enjoyed it, but I just haven't gone back to it for reasons I can't explain.
Yeah.
But I have been playing some remakes and remasters, that's for sure.
Yeah, so that's interesting. What do you think is the cause of that?
Video games they peaked about 10 years ago. Now, it's because so many new games are like live service games that people just aren't interested in. Mm-hmm. Like the Suicide Squad that got delayed. And the only games that are coming out that have like hefty single player campaigns are like all these remakes and stuff. Because look at that list, they're all single player games. That Metroid Prime, Resident Evil, and the third, The Witcher, which is a huge single player story driven game.
Yeah.
And like, I guess those are the real expensive games to make, and then studios probably don't want to spend the money to make games that big. So they just remaster the old ones and sell them again.
Yeah, very, very odd.
And the industry needs to find a good balance between making these enormous games that take 100 years and cost $1 bajillion and something more like middle range. Because like, I didn't put this on the list, but I should have. They announced the release date for that Starfield, Bethesda's next big game.
Oh yeah,
it got delayed until not until September is it coming out, and they've
Wow.
already delayed it like 3 times. It's like, just make smaller games that have better stories. You don't have to make an entire galaxy and work on it for 10 years.
yeah, huh?
And especially when it'll come out, it'll probably be super busted.
Well, yeah, it'll be super broken. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, just low. I don't want to say lower your expectations, but like find a good middle ground.
Yeah. I agree there.
That we need more like AA games too. Not every game has to be like this AAA bajillion-dollar cinematic Last of Us.
Yeah, sometimes you just want a nice, couple hours, kind of light on story, light on gameplay, just kind of
like
a fun game,
like a cheap third-person shooter, or a good punch 'em up.
Yeah, a good beat 'em up, a lot like the newly announced Toxic Crusaders game
Very
from
smooth.
Retroware. Thank you. I am very smooth. So yes, the company Retroware is going to be making a beat 'em up based off of the animated series Toxic Crusaders, based off of the R-rated horror comedy Toxic Avenger by Troma Entertainment, and I can't wait for it.
It looks fantastic.
It looks really well done.
It looks very much like that Ninja Turtles game that came out not too long ago. That was very good.
It looks really good.
If you would have told me this was Tribute making it, I would have believed you.
I would have believed it
but
as
it's
well.
not.
Yeah. And they're having full animated cutscenes.
Oh wow.
And they're doing there a lot of the, like, every character they're pulling from it's from the cartoon. It's the it's everybody. It's the guy with the big nose and the villain with the noxious fumes or whatever. I forget. It's been forever since I've watched the Toxic Crusaders. Admittedly, I was a child the last time I saw it. So I haven't committed all the characters' names to memory. But
you do have the poster book of it on your wall.
I do have
over
a
here.
poster book signed by Lloyd Kaufman in the office. Yeah. Yes.
I'll be excited to see any and all Troma references they hide in the background and stuff.
I hear that they're going to be putting a lot in there. From what I understand, there's going to be a level based off Class of Nukem High.
Nice. I mean, that was tangent. That takes place in Tromaville.
It takes place in Tromaville.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of their films take place in Tromaville. But yeah, I'm curious. And of course, Uncle Lloydie has been on Twitter. Friend of the show, Lloyd Kaufman, has been on Twitter pretty much nonstop promoting this thing, because that's who he is and that's what he does.
I want to unlock and play as Sergeant Kabuki Man.
Oh, that would be so good. Oh man, I haven't watched Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD in so long.
Also, I hope they put an Alfred Packer in there somewhere, some sort of cannibal.
Oh
nod.
yeah, that would be neat. Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, it's barely a Troma movie, but it also
still counts.
But it is also my favorite Troma movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still a sucker for the original Toxic Avenger.
It is good.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah, good stuff.
One of the guys working on it is the guy that did the Angry Video Game Nerd games.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And
I mean, I don't care for the Angry Video Game Nerd, but the game was pretty fun.
Those games are actually really solid.
Yeah.
I'm not a humongous fan of the AVGN's like shtick, but he seems like a nice and cool guy.
He seems like a nice enough dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not a fan of the shtick.
I'll watch one of his videos every once in a while, but I'm not like I don't wait for him to upload.
Yeah, same here.
For some reason, I saw a clip today that he uploaded that was him singing part of the Zoo Ranger theme.
Really?
I don't know why. I
Oh.
don't know where the clip came from, but
Well, maybe I need to turn my opinion around on this guy then. Us Super Sentai fans got to stick together, all right, so we have time for one more. Actually, we have time for both. Why don't you talk about the Switch Online updates? There were a couple new games on there, right?
Yeah, they added some new games to their new services and some of the old ones. They just added Game Boy like a month ago, and now we're getting 2 more Game Boy games. Burger Time Deluxe, which I don't know what's deluxe about it. Like, I've never played. I don't know what makes it different.
It's
from
a
Burger
double
Time.
cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could make those.
You could make those in Burger Time. Yeah.
It has a story mode where you go into his gritty past.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
But also Kirby's Dream Land 2, which is a good Kirby game that I haven't played in like 20 years. So I might go back and check that out for at least a little bit.
I mean, they're free. You might as well.
Yeah. That's the one that has all his animal buddies,
Yeah.
and they're cool.
Yeah.
I like that hamster.
That hamster's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
And then on Super Nintendo, we have Side Pocket, the thrilling billiards simulation. And on the NES, Namco Classic that was only ever really popular in Japan, Xevious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see some new games, but none of those are like chart burners.
Yeah, the Nintendo Switch Online continues to just be very middling.
Well, they did add Metroid Fusion.
Oh, yeah, that is a good one.
A week before.
That is true.
Which
Yeah.
is weird that they did that by itself, and then 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, also these ones.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
But Metroid Fusion is like an absolute must-play.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's a classic.
And if you have Metroid Dread, they like lead right into each other, so you could play them back to back.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and okay, so last thing, and this is there's really not much to talk about with this. So before Jason David Frank, the former Green Power Rangers, unfortunate passing, he was working on a film called Legend of the White Dragon. It didn't look especially good, but he was doggone it. He was making a movie. He was doing the thing. It was being directed and produced by the Bat in the Sun YouTube channel. They did a lot of those, like, what would happen if these two characters from pop culture fought each other in a back alley?
Like those like rocket jump guys.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Kind of stuff, where it's like really special effects heavy, but then they
really
don't,
light on the story.
Yeah,
and
they don't actually create any
They don't
of
do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I backed their Kickstarter because, it's the movie is starring a whole bunch of former Power Rangers, like Jason Font, who was the Red Time Ranger, Sierra Hanna, who was in Megaforce Yellow. Oh, geez, there were a whole bunch of other ones. So I was like, I'll flip $10-15 towards this, and
at least you're actually gonna get this movie.
At least I'm going to get this one instead of the order. I'm still waiting on that order, Karen Ashley. But that's not what this is about. So they announced that his work on the film, Jason David Frank's work on the film, was completed prior to his passing, and it is getting a limited theatrical release, which is kind of weird and kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's not going to change the fact that the movie is going to be bad. There's no, I'm trying not to be mean about this.
At least they finished all his stuff and beforehand and didn't try to still make the movie like that one Bruce Lee movie where there's like a standee of Bruce Lee in a scene.
That was it's not quite to that level, no. But I'll be getting it on digital because of the Kickstarter, so I'm not going to see it in the theater probably. But it is kind of neat that one last hurrah.
Yeah.
Kinda. That's kind of cool. I don't know. All right. So with that, we're actually going to go ahead and wrap things up. You've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com. You can also check us out on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Patreon over at Nerd Overload Now.
That's right. That's the thing he says.
That is the thing Josh says.
You can also email us at staff@nerdoverload.com.
You can give us a call on the Nerd Overload hotline. The number's 419-561-5556. Leave us a message and we might play it on the show.
That's right. You can also find all of our back episodes on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and more. Finally, I'd like to thank Parker for helping us out over at the Facebook page, finding some news articles for us, and David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. You can find more of his stuff over at davidpencil.com. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Yabble dabble.